I did say I was going to stay away from these pop the balloon segments, but this one was quite interesting. Here we're going to have a woman who's 39 years old, mind you. She's going to reject a 44-year-old man for looking like he reads too many books. If you don't believe me, just watch the video that I'm about to play. All right, fair use, by the way, fair use.
Nice. Maybe you read books on vacation as opposed to maybe, you know, it's just given studious to me.
Like his outfit?
Just the whole vibe. I like the glasses. I actually really do, but it's definitely giving very book reader when I want to maybe turn up a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds
So I guess basically what you're saying is my outfit seems like I read a lot of books. Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't say your outfit, just the whole vibe gives a very like you're more into maybe staying in, reading books, very kind of that. Yeah. I guess I'm not.
I mean, you're an author.
Yeah, I'm an author, but
he's an author.
But,
it's giving author. It's giving author. And this is not in a bad thing. That's actually amazing. That's incredible that you are. Congratulations on that. But for me personally, it's not my vibe.
Do you not? I'm just, and it's cool. We don't.
I love books, but
do you not like intelligent men or?
I absolutely do, but it's just giving a vibe that.
Okay, that's cool. I don't want to pressure or anything. I'm just curious on what it is.
And I really do hope you don't take that the wrong way. Not like, but just.
All right, that's enough. All right, that's enough. Now, the reason why I did show this segment, I want you to notice, not necessarily the comments, because most of the comments are just going to say, well, that's just one woman. You know what I mean? But I want you to notice something as I let this continue to play. Right? I'm going to keep the sound off. Right. What I want you guys to notice is this. These are all older women in the line. The woman here that's critiquing him is 39 years old. And look at the rest of the women that were laughing at him. All look like in their late 30s, 40s. Now, mind you, if this same man were to go 10 years younger, they'll say, what do you have in common with a 20-year-old? Well, he doesn't have nothing in common with these hoes, and they're around his age bracket. You see, guys, maturity there's really no age in terms of, oh, this guy or this girl is this age, so he or she must be mature. No, I'm just telling you from my life experience, that's not, I will say age does not correlate with maturity. I'm talking about with men and women. Now, for men, it's a little bit different. It tends to, the older you get, a little bit, you know what I mean? You'll tend to mature. But I'll say this with women, it really doesn't matter the age in terms of when it comes to maturity. It's either they're mature or not. And when I will say with this demographic of women right here, as long as they're still, when I'm talking about women like this, right? This 39-year-old woman, and the rest of these broads in this line too, the rest of the cackling birds. As long as they feel like they can still get the attention of a Pookie or one of these knuckleheads, they will still prefer those knuckleheads over a normal person, even at the age of 39 and whatever, because she thinks black doesn't crack and whatever. And this is the reality. I'll say this from my anecdotal experience. I have seen this where you'll have an older gentleman, he's looking for a quote unquote mature lady. So he's like, and he'll sell out. So he'll be like, oh, I'm looking for a mature woman. That's this and that and blah, blah, blah. And he can't find one. And mind you, he'll be looking at women at his age bracket, but they're still immature. Right? Now, I will say for the man here, this is going to be my critique for this man here. Why are you on a dating show like this in the first place? If you were a 44-year-old author, because this is what he is, he's an author. He likes to read and blah, blah, blah. Why are you on a dating show like this? I'm talking about looking for something serious, and the line is full of single mammies that hasn't matured past the age of 12. And I'm being generous with that age. This is usually the kind of nonsense you're going to deal with if you're going on a show like Pop the Balloon. So as an author and as a studious person, you should have known better. You should have known better than to go on a show like this. But nevertheless, we can still use this as a learning tool. Let's look at some of these comments, right? Somebody said, meanwhile, she can't even articulate her words. Now, mind you, look at the info. 39-year-old woman telling this 44-year-old man who is an author that he looks like he read books is beyond me. Well, but this, like I said, all this stuff about, oh, you don't want no grown women pressure. And when I hear stuff like that, particularly when a man of that age dates younger women, they always say, what do you have in common with a younger woman? But I'm like, well, like people act like they like men like that don't try with women their age. They do actually quite often, and they often end up being disappointed like this, being laughed off like this from women around his age. You see the rest of the women, they didn't scold her, they was laughing, they was keying and ha. Now the only person that wasn't laughing was the hostess. Now she's had her immature moments, but in this moment right here, she was like, I don't know why they laughing, and she's the youngest out of all these hoes. So take that, like, like this is just how it is when it comes to maturity. And oh, what do you find? That's just shaming language, right? I would tell a man like that. First of all, I don't think. First of all, if you want a black woman that likes what you like, you cannot be on no Pop the Balloon show. That's because I know there's a lot of black men that are still looking for, I need a black woman that does this and that. You're not going to find what you're looking for on Pop the Balloon. Number one. Number two, I would say for him, if he's still looking for a black woman around his age, he's going to have to be a stepfather, unfortunately. Now, if you don't want to be a stepfather, you're probably going to have to look for younger and probably not a black woman, but that's, like I said, he's going to have to decide, what this man is going to have to decide what he wants. But it is what it is. Somebody said this is the ish Kevin Samuels was talking about. Somebody said if you want to hide something from black folks, put it in a book. Somebody else says here, intellect is mocked in the black community more than people know, especially amongst black men. These are facts. Somebody says she wants to turn up at 39. Yeah, that's what she said. That's what she said. In fact, let me maybe, I think she said that also in the end too, when she tried to elaborate herself. Pause. Right? Watch this.
It's
Cool. Preferences. Trust me, you cool. You cool.
no, she's someone that's your type.
I do like your shape. Got it.
Oh yeah, it blanks out at the end. But she said in there, yeah, she said she wants to turn up. She wants to be in the club. Somebody said, Ninja, did I just catch you reading? Y'all ever saw that from the Boondocks? Ninja, did I just catch you reading? Somebody said, y'all owe Kevin Samuels an apology. Somebody said maybe she should read a few books. Well, like I said, in terms of, he mentions Kevin Samuels, but there's been a lot of black men that have been saying this for years. But with these dating shows now and these things popping up, and you're just seeing certain groups of women displaying their ignorance, really of all races, mind you, the white bitches on TikTok, the black bitches on Pop the Balloon, right? The Latina women on Instagram, the Asians on Instagram and TikTok. So you're just seeing women displaying their full ignorance, or just full display, and they don't even think they're doing anything wrong. So there's a lot of guys that really the general public owes an apology, but that's not going to happen. Somebody said, I see what men mean when they say it's hard to please a woman. But like I said, there's a reason why a lot of these women here in this line are single moms. It's not on some, oh, men are trash. No, they pick a certain type of dude to procreate with. And there's, and even at their age of 39, in their late 30s, they still look at him as a lame. When the actuality is a guy like that is literally saving, if a guy is like this, is to take them on at whatever age that they were coming from or wherever they were coming from, he would be massively upgrading their life. But they just look at him as, you know? Somebody says she does not seem to be on this level intellectually. She can't even articulate her thoughts. I know, but here's the thing. Here's the thing with that comment. So if a guy like that, you say this about this woman, she doesn't seem to be on this level intellectually, but isn't this the kind of woman that, quote unquote, age appropriate? So now if he comes in with a younger broad, 10 years younger than her, like I saw something today on my Instagram. This guy said he prefers women 10 years younger than him, and he's like in his 40s. And they said he was a predator. I'm like, that means he's dating women that's in their late 20s and early 30s. What do you mean he's a predator? Right? But like I said, if he comes in with a younger woman, they're gonna be like, what do you have in common? She's not on your level intellectually. Well, when women say stuff like that, that's just nonsense. Most women, if you're a guy like this, right? If you're a guy like this guy, you're an author, you read books, you're a deep thinker, you're gonna be above I'll say 97% of women. Sorry, let me take that back. Over 90% of women are not going to be on his level intellectually. Just off rip, this man right here. I'll say about 90% of women are not going to be on his level intellectually. So, of all races, mind you. So, I'll say especially in America. So, what he's looking for, what he would be looking for, is just a woman, just somebody just to play their role. Really, like a guy like this is really somebody you need to make sure you set him up with an arranged, situation. This is the funniest comment that I like right here, though. Let me like this comment because I saw this comment earlier. He's in the quotation marks. You see, I want a man that's 6'3", makes $1 billion a year, takes me on trips, and doesn't read. And right there in another comment, it says, as soon as she said it's giving, I knew the next words would be pointless. This woman is 39 and she's using 20-year-old TikTok lingo. Somebody said at 39, be serious. This can't be life. That's embarrassing. But like I said, from my experience, maturity doesn't really correlate with age, particularly with women. I've seen women in their 50s, 60s, and they just don't. That the maturity level. I'm not talking about necessarily just book smart level. I'm just talking maturity level. It's just not there. It's not there, and you can't really say anything because she's a woman. You can't tell her that she's not mature. Like you're ma'am, you're being immature. A woman in her 50s, it's hard to just tell her like you're being very immature about the situation. But that mentality, it never, they never advance past that mentality. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section. And again, I am sorry for doing a pop the balloon segment. I thought I wouldn't have to do one for a while, but I just wanted to show this because I found it interesting that it was a 39-year-old woman with this mentality, right? And this woman would be quote unquote age appropriate for this guy, and yet this woman she's more immature than most women in their 20s that I know. There's women in their 20s that I know personally, levels above her in terms of mentally levels. So like not even close. But if those same women or one of those women that I know was going out with a guy like this, they would say that guy is a predator or he's taking advantage of her. Right. So this is the interesting part of the conversation. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.